2, 1, action. Hey YouTube, TurtleAgs here, bringing you another AFK journey video. Twitch chat, you can say hi to your mom, your future self, whoever you want. Because we are doing this live and I'm going to splice the footage and export it to YouTube after this live stream is over, so we are going to do it in one take. Whatever happens, happens. I regret not doing this earlier because I didn't realize that battle drills would change in, well actually it's changed 3 minutes ago. So basically the structure of this video will be as follows. First we'll go over the pathing. I know my camera is partially blocking the screenshot, but I do have a pristine visual on my YouTube channel. Well, it'll be on my YouTube channel. It'll also be on my Discord, so join my Discord. I'm also trying to share it with other Discord servers that a lot of you guys frequent. I'll try to make sure I have these visuals up for you guys to share with your guild. So yes, we'll go over pathing first, then we'll go over sample teams, and if there's anything else to talk about, such as you know, important buffs to pick up along the way, which I forgot to create a visual for, I just realized, we'll go over that as well. Let's go over pathing first. So as you can see from this visual here, let me pull up the pathing visual. Alright, so you should see my cursor here. Basically, there are 3 different camps. There's the top camp where 6 people can enter. And then there's 12 people who can enter here, 12 people who can enter here. Now, you'll probably notice when you enter this camp right here is that there is a buff that is applied. Let me go ahead and read it off to you. So if I enter battle drills, yeah, daily reset. Okay, let me see if you guys can see this. You can't, okay. Alright, so you basically want to, if you are a whale being defined in this particular battle drills as someone with primarily Supreme plus EX15 heroes, you will want to join this camp. Only 6 people can go, and you have a very big responsibility because you will be one of the 3 teams, if you will, to path to the other teams, your other guildmates, when the battle drills begins. So why do we want whales to enter this camp? Well, when you enter a camp, you get the buff that comes with the camp. And the buff that comes with this top camp, I'll go ahead and join right now, because I'm a whale, is superiority. Increases all allies' damage dealt by 50% in boss stronghold battles. Supreme plus heroes receive an extra 250% damage boost when their exclusive equipment reaches 15. So basically, in a nutshell, when you are fighting bosses, which could be Shadow Merrily, actually I would presume it would be Shadow Merrily, Shadow Aaron, any of the strongholds, basically any of these towers here, you should get this buff. Any Supreme plus EX15 hero will get a 250% damage boost, which is kind of insane. It's pretty impactful. So you really have to make these slots count. Alright. And then, yeah, there's the left camp. Versatile style. I guess we're talking about buffs right now. Increases all allies' physical defense by 10%, magic defense 10%, attack 10%. So a minor buff there. And then anyone in this camp, same thing here. And I'm not sure if these buffs stack. I presume if these 2 camps were to theoretically meet, you would basically get those buffs times 2, because they look like the same thing. Yeah, so, and then in terms of buffs to choose here, so there's 2 buffs when you take over this camp, and then there's 2 buffs available to choose from when you select this camp. Now, the buffs, if memory serves me right, this pertains to you specifically. So it's not like you choose a buff and it applies to the entire guild. It applies to you specifically. So depending on whether you are part of the pathing crew or part of the stronghold clearing crew, one of these two buffs will apply more to you. So in my case, because I'm more focused on Shadow Merrily, Shadow Aaron, and the three camps up here, strongholds up here, this one, and this one, that has 2 or less, mobs, right? Because Shadow Aaron is one, Shadow Merrily is one, and I think that's about it. So people like me would choose Hot Pursuit, which allows us to do additional damage to non-boss stronghold battles triggered if there are 2 or fewer enemies when the battle begins. Now, one caveat to this actually is if you are facing a camp that has like 5 enemies, but maybe like 3 of them got KO'd, I think the buff might still apply if you enter the battle. Although I can't really prove that. And then if you are part of the mobbing, or if you're, say like in these bottom 2 camps here, this one, and the majority of the strongholds that you'll fight are actually like 5 or 4, I think more than 4 enemies, I think is how it's defined. Yeah, triggered if there are more than 4 enemies. Basically, there has to be 5 enemies in order for this to trigger, which is actually not a very good buff, because when you get over to this area here, it's 4 or less. So I almost want to say that if you are in doubt, pick this one, because I feel like there's more situations in which this applies in the long haul than this. Because at the very end, the majority of the enemies you're going to fight are 4 or less. So I feel like this Iron Resolve buff, it might be good in the beginning, but it might not be very good long term. So it really depends on what your role is for your guild. So I would say Hot Pursuit for the majority of people, but if you are a person who will primarily be on pathing duty and on occasion fight the strongholds that have 5 mobs, then you would pick Iron Resolve. So Hot Pursuit most likely for you, but if you are on pathing duty, then Iron Resolve. All right, and then for here, so if you are on pathing duty, you'll be in Passage Brawl most of the time. Hey Cardax, you're on YouTube. If you're on pathing duty, you're going to pick Trailblazer, because you're most likely going to spend your time in the Passage Brawls, where you'll be fighting the small fry, right, to get to the strongholds. So you'll be a Trailblazer if you're on pathing duty. If you are on stronghold duty, including like all the mini bosses and stuff, then you're going to pick True Potential. Yeah, so obviously all the whales are going to pick True Potential. Yeah. Hi YouTube, say hi back in the comments. Yes. Alright, so now that we've gone over skills, let's go back to our visual, and then let's resume the pathing instructions. So, basically, so the 6 whales are going to be in the top camp. Then you'll split 12 and 12. Hopefully you guys can see this, my cursor. So if you are a whale, you're going to go straight down, because remember guys, the first thing you want to do at the start of any battle drills is for all 30 guild members to meet up, right? You share the buffs and you have more flexibility in the directions with which you can path or attack. So the whales are denoted in red. The whales are going to go straight down, and then you'll go as far as you can and meet up with the other crew. Now if you're in the left camp, you're the blue path. You're basically, you'll most likely take down this tower, snag the buff, keep going straight up, ignore the wings for now. That's going to be last, or one of the last paths. So you're going to go like that, and then you'll meet up with the whales. And then the right camp, same thing, you'll take the green path, go straight up, meet with the whales. And then once you have cleared everything in the core, in the center, then you are going to start doing purple. Now, back in the day, last year, July of 2023, which was when this Spider Wasteland battle drills appeared, back in the day, the capture points mattered more. Which is why back in the day, last year, you would go the wings first, because it was the quickest way to capture 20 capture points and 20 capture points for free, because you don't need to fight anyone to get the capture points. However, last month, the battle drills deployment feature changed, where in the past you needed to accumulate capture points in order to unlock more slots. However, moving forwards, your heroes, actually you have access to all the heroes on your account, and every day you get 1 stamina point per hero to use, and then you get 15 stamina points per day to do your attacks. So you basically get 3 attacks per day, but you can only use up the heroes based on the stamina on those heroes. So capture points are more for scoreboard nowadays, as opposed to back in the day where it affected deployment as well. So for this reason, these 2 strongholds here, even though they offer twice as many capture points as each of these 6 strongholds here, you want to prioritize the purple path next. I chose counterclockwise direction because the whales are most likely going to choose the buff that buffs your damage if enemies are 2 or less enemies, and 2 out of 3 of those kinds of strongholds are right here. So I chose counterclockwise direction, but if you go the other way, or you decide to optimize by doing the 2 or less strongholds first, you know, it's kind of like splitting hairs at this point. But I just arbitrarily chose counterclockwise direction to A, to B, to C, to D, to E, and then finally to F, to take advantage of, you know, that buff. But it really doesn't matter. The important thing is you're doing the purple path next. So, you know, the team that's on pathing duty, create the path, and then your whales have something to do, right? And then the last thing would just be to path to get the last 2 strongholds here, because you need 100% in order to attack the final boss. Now, let's go over teams next. Okay, hopefully you guys can see this. Okay, here we go. Okay, so you guys should be able to see this. My camera's kind of blocking, so because I've already gone over the pathing, so we'll go ahead and let's see, how do I do this? Webcam. Okay, so I'll move this here. Okay, so let's go over the teams next. So I'm going to split this into 2 categories: mobbing team, bossing team. Now, I do want to briefly talk about pathing. So when it comes to pathing, whoever is doing that, optimally you want to, or ideally you want to deploy 3 heroes at a time in order to maximize the stamina. Although it doesn't really matter as much now, because the stamina for your hero deployment and the stamina for the number of attacks you can do are separated. So there's not as much advantage to deploying 3 at a time as before, because maybe chat, you guys can chime in, but I think that if you clear under a certain time, I'm actually not really sure how the stamina reimbursement, or chat, you guys, it's not worth it. Okay, so thank you, Decorine. So If that's the case, yeah, it's not worth it. So just deploy the 5. Yeah, I don't think you get any refund for stamina. I don't know how that works. It probably doesn't even work. But anyways, so for mobbing teams, we have the 3 at the top. But these are not the only options. But as you can tell, typically for mobbing, you want to run Aaron. And then you want a Wilder core because you're running Aaron. And a lot of the best AoE damage dealers happen to be Wilders as well. So, you know, Aaron, Arden is a given. I think most people will have that. And then you can either go Parisa or you can go Tassie. And actually, if you have Damien, that does give you more options for DPS because Damien is a Wilder as well. You can also go Haywin, you know, lots of different options. You can go Damien or Haywin. Damien's nice just because he is an offensive healer. That's why I preferred him. Yes, so, and then I know all of these artifacts are Star Shard, but really just insert best artifact of, you know, the time of recording, right? Or I guess the time of you doing your attacks. Because we still have artifacts left to unlock. If you want to know what season artifacts to use, I would say any artifact that you used in Dream Realm is going to be good here. The Snowflake one is really good. Yeah. Oh, no more refunds? Okay, got it. So, yeah, Decarina's saying go the Snowflake one. I would agree with that. Okay, so these are sample teams. So you basically you have Aaron for the Magic Defense Shred. It's a lot, more than 40%. Then you have AoE mages, so Arden, Parisa, Carolina as one example, or Arden, Carolina, Bonnie as another example. Bonnie is great because she is a debuffer as well, also hits pretty hard. And then if you're running Tassie, I do recommend running Rowan because Rowan can provide energy to Tassie to help her ult faster. Yeah, someone pointed out in chat, I think it was you, Decorine, that not everyone has Parisa nowadays if you're a newer player, but Tassie you are likely to have, so because she's so good for PvP and AFK stages. Yeah, so these are sample teams. Now, when we go to bossing / mobbing teams, here are 3 examples, but there's even more than this. But I think these are probably the most optimal. The one on the left is probably the strongest. The reason being that Cassidy and Ulsa, they do so much damage. So much damage combined because Ulsa, her magic charm set ability provides her, I think, 30 energy per second this season. Something insane like that. I already forget. Maybe chat, you guys can help me out, or I can look it up. Anyways, she gets a ton of energy from her magic charm set, and then Cassidy blesses Ulsa, right? And Ulsa attacks really fast. So you get a lot of Cassidy triggers so that Cassidy does a lot of damage as well. And then you have Odie as insane damage. Sonya is going to buff the 2 allies in the front, Odie and Ulsa, so they do even more damage. And as you know, Sonya is a fantastic Dream Realm boss because she provides a lot of offensive buffs. And then you have Coco in the back because Coco does buff a hero in the front, providing them a shield and that stuff. I think the buff is negligible, but for nitpicking, you know, we have Coco behind Sonya. Yeah, and then for the next team in the middle, so basically the idea is you want to have the strongest DPSs, right? So like Lily May, Bonnie, they are excellent DPSs, and then you're running basically like a Graveborn core. I think most of us are focusing on the Snowflake Primal Lords, Frostspike, so we probably are sticking with the Mauler McDouble Glowy a glowy McDouble tile. So that's why I really nitpicked for positioning here, because I imagine most people watching this video are still fighting Frostspike Primal Lord and don't want to respec a million times. So here you can rearrange the heroes to maximize the DPS. Although I think team building restriction is more limited with Rainier, because you want to dynamic balance Lily May, and then you need Bonnie here to take advantage of the glowy McSingle tile for the Graveborn. And if memory serves me right, the Graveborn glowy tile is right here, position 2. So we're going to have Bonnie take advantage of that. Thorn is an excellent tank that can also do some DPS. Ludovic, surprisingly, is a reliable healer who can also dish out a little bit of DPS. And so this is perfect. I really like this team. And then for the final team, basically what Chat and I decided to do was we basically picked the Celestial Hypogenes that you most likely have, and that is the priority if you are a new player, which in this case would be Twins number 1 and then Pesto number 2. If you don't have either of these heroes, means that you're not prioritizing Dream Realm, or you're like a super new player, you know, or maybe you picked waifu over meta, in which case, you know, I'm pretty sure most of you will have Pesto, you'll have Twins, and then you go with whoever your third Celestial Hypogene is. It could be Rainier, it might be Harak, that whatever your third Celestial Hypogene is will take the spot of Tulane. Hopefully, you know, if you have Tulane, run her, because, you know, she probably does the most damage besides Pesto out of all the Celestial Hypogenes in a Dream Realm setting. I think the only one who would beat that would be Harak. But Harak, I'm kind of hesitant to bring Harak here. You can try it, doesn't hurt. I just don't know how long your team will last if Harak is eating all your allies. So. And then the idea here was I'm trying not to create any overlap. That's why I don't have Rainier in this team comp. So Shakir is an excellent offensive buffer. Scarlita, I don't know if Scarlita would do anything. Probably not. I guess you could run Scarlita just for the Celestial Hypogene buff. Yeah, but... and then... Damien is an excellent offensive healer, so if you have him built in any capacity, he's very good. So once again, Shakir for the Lupine Aura and some damage, Damien for offensive buffs, 3 Celestial Hypogenes, which will be Pesto, Twins, and whoever your third Celestial Hypogene, you know, whoever they may be. So that's pretty much it. I could go over the mini bosses kit, but really I think it's more the teams you bring. Their kit doesn't really matter a lot. It's not like the previous battle drills where they had like 99% physical damage mitigation. I don't think we have any of that insanity this time. This time it's more where you deploy, what buffs you pick. So I'm going to end the video here. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys have any additional questions, you can leave it in the comment section below, or join my Discord channel, or join my Twitch live stream. I live stream pretty much every day here on Twitch at the Daily Reset. Okay, I'll catch you guys later. Take care. Bye-bye. Alright, 143. I think overall I'm happy with the video. 143, so that was a 22-minute video. Okay, videos are still kind of long, but it's alright. Okay, let's do our dailies.